Okay, so just looking at the spreadsheet, we can see that these three that are on their own are ready to be test rendered. So let's just go for sequence 30. We'll do this one to start off with. So first of all, obviously we're going to be going into the file. So scene shot 30, and there is quite a few things that need to be done. So I'll just go through them quite quickly, and then I'll make a checklist, and then you guys can ask questions about it as well. Right, so when you come up, it should look something like this. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. So just to give a fresh start, most likely it'll look something like this, right? First things first, what we're going to do is we're going to go onto this little button over here and just click 3D viewport, right? And we're just going to use the middle mouse button and just go around, and on the camera over here, just click number pad 0. So you can basically look through the camera, and number pad full stop to look at the camera specifically. Now what we'll do is in this view layer, you click the view layer, you click mist over here, and then you go onto the camera which you just selected, and you scroll down a little bit, viewport display, yep, sorry, and you click mist, right? And then you go into the world settings, you click mist pass, you set the start to 0, and you slowly go in from the end, and you see where it ends. So if we're looking at the shot, right, it's not really going past maybe this wall over here. So just to be safe, we'll make the mist pass go just out the wall, right? So basically that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the most depth that we need and no more, so that it's easier for Max. So basically looking in through here, this is the furthest point, so we're gonna go all the way out, and since it's at an angle, maybe we'll go out up to, let's say, 3 meters, just to be safe. And so now that that's done, we go onto the output, and over here where it says the test PNG, or sometimes the photo will say PNG or whatever, we delete all of that and we just type in EXR, right? Down here we change this to EXR multi-layer, and don't have to change anything else. So EXR multi-layer, change this folder to EXR, and then we go into this one again, compositor, and we tick use nodes, right? We press Shift A, so it comes up with the ad. So Shift A, and you search for gamma, and you do it again, Shift A, you search for invert, and you put the mist pass into the color, you put the color into image, you set this to 10, you then add another node, so Shift A, search, file, output, right? On this node, you click on node, properties, you change this to OpenEXR multi-layer. This should already be the same, so you don't need to, just double check it, but don't need to change it. And you add an input, right? You change that, so you rename it to depth and image. So the image is this image over here, and the depth would be this over here, right? So this is what you need to do, and that's basically it for the setup. Now just one more thing, you just change the 64 to 256, and that is saved now. So 256 is usually enough. If it looks bad, then we can always re-render at a higher sample rate, but 256 should be good for now. So now if we go render animation, it should start rendering out the animation. So while that's happening, I'll just open up Nuke. So you guys don't need to do this, but sorry. This is just to demonstrate what we're doing when I just did that. So basically, it's shot 30, so we're going to go into shot 30, render. It should have created an EXR folder, and then that should be the EXR. So it's not rendered just yet, it's still rendering, but what it's doing is just making that temporary file so that when more than one computer is rendering at once, it doesn't clash. But like I said, this shouldn't take too long. Alright, so it's almost done, it's at 80%. After this point it will comp it a little bit, but that should be almost instant. Alright, so now the next one is rendering, so this first frame should be done. So I'm just going to drag this over into Nuke. Go through there. So you'll see that there is that depth. And an easier way to visualize it actually is if I close this and if I go into this and make this, let's say, just for the purpose of showing you guys, 12, and then I render the image. And go into compositing. This is a pretty like simple image, so you wouldn't really see it. But basically, obviously, this face is closest, and then the background is furthest away, so that's why it's different colors. So that's basically what we're doing in this. So when we change this back to 256, and now if others render, it should keep it going, and it should continue where it left off, first of all, and second of all, it should make it so that it's at a level where Max can also edit it and it be easier for him as well. Yeah, sweet. So just to recap, first step would be obviously changing the samples, then changing this path to EXR, then ticking this box to add mist, ticking this box to view the mist, looking in the 3D viewport and manipulating these settings to make sure that you cover everything that the camera sees, and then going into the compositing and making sure that this node setup is done, and also making sure that this is properly set up so that way it's named the proper things and it's also an OpenEXR multi-layer as well. Once you've done all of that, you can either tick that purple box that says it's ready to be rendered, or you can just go ahead and render it yourself if it's a shorter sequence, and then you can tick this box to say that it is in fact rendered. If you have any questions at all, this box, just to say that it's been rendered. If you have any questions at all, just let me know, and hopefully it's easy enough. But yeah, definitely, it's okay to ask questions.